Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Self Educated YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about traditional markets and particularly here the S&P 500. Um, I'm kicking myself in the kicking myself a little bit because I really should have bought this dip right here. This was a very nice dip back in April of this year, 2025. And just to be clear, today is the 17th of December, 2025. So earlier this year, we had this, I guess it was for the high from February, but it dropped all the way down to, dropped 20%, almost to the 200 simple moving average. And that was in April. So it was a big drop, big opportunity. And from that low to the high, it has rallied 42% about, and it's pulled back a little bit now. So now it's like a 30% to gain, 38% gainer. That's really nice. That's a very nice return. The S&P 500 is pretty much at all-time highs right now. Although I do think maybe we're going to see a pullback going into 2026. Um, Especially with the Federal Reserve changing its stance on potentially going back into some quantitative easing. Well, they've ended quantitative tightening, QT, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna, open the floodgates and start printing money. I think a potential scare in traditional markets can lead to that. And I mean, let's take a look at some scares that happened in the past. Um, let's take a look at the one that happened here in from January 2022 to the low in November 2022. So this is quite a long one. It's like three quarters of the S&P pretty much going down. And I didn't quite catch it, but it was like about a 26, probably like 28% move from high to bottom. And look, anytime you see something like the S&P 500, anytime it gets to the green moving average here, this is an EMA, so this is the 55 EMA. Anytime it makes it there, price action touches this moving average, it's a great buying opportunity. Particularly if it touches the 200 simple moving average, it's a fantastic buying opportunity. And this is a weekly look. Let's take a look back here at the Corona dump. This was a big dump. It happened really quick, and then it was pretty much recovery time. But this is what opened up the floodgates to money printing, was pretty much this. So it was like a 34% dip. And then this previous one right here, this was during 2019. I think it was like in November of 2019. And this was something that was going on in the repo market. I don't really understand the repo market all too much, but I know it was related with the repo market. And George Gammon talked a lot about this at that time. I used to follow his channel quite a bit. But you see a 20% dip here. So these are great buying opportunities. Anytime it's making its way, price action makes itself to that 200 moving average, it's a great opportunity to buy something like the S&P 500. You don't have to be smart to make money, particularly in something like this that's been in a bull run for decades. Especially if you don't want to take too much risk, you've got a fair amount of capital lying on the sidelines, and you want to make relatively easy money. Like, these are no brainers. Like, any of these dips pretty much went to new all-time highs. This dip, all-time high. This dip, all-time high. This little dip went back and did a double top, you could say. But I do foresee a pullback, maybe a pretty hefty one. And the reason why I say that is because I've been looking here at the chart. So this is the BBWP. And so I use a BBWP because I've learned a lot about trading from Crown's crypto channel, Crown's Crypto Cave. I've been following him pretty much since 2021, and really following, and I've taken a couple of his courses and really learned how to read charts was because of him. And I'm not necessarily a trader, but I do like to look at these charts and like to look at these indicators because it gives me a better idea of when I should enter and buy and take on some long-term holds. And it's pretty useful once you start to like really understand how some of these things work. I'm still pretty new at it, so I mean, I think like 4 years of looking at charts is not a lot of experience, but it's giving me a bit of an edge. So as you could see here, the BBWP it represents volatility. So when you have low volatility like this, and especially when you have bearish divergence over here in the RSI, it's kind of telling you that a big dip, a big move is going to happen, a move in the counter direction, right? So here you have BBWP very low, and then it starts to expand. It moves above the moving average around here, especially once it hit this, and then you have this divergence over here. So it's almost telling you that, like, look, there's likely a big move coming, and because of the RSI creating divergences here, so lower highs on the RSI, it's and with expansion essentially yeah, volatility expanding, it's kind of telling you that there's a big move brewing. So this happened, and I think potentially something like this could happen in the next year or so again. I mean, I I'm looking for an opportunity essentially to buy the S&P 500, and I don't want to buy it at all time highs. And especially with the Federal Reserve kind of, like cutting rates, and potentially people being bullish on, you know the Federal Reserve's money printing again. Maybe some kind of scare in the stock market is what is needed in order to create the next bull run. And I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not even going to say it's going to happen in the next 6 months. Maybe we could start seeing some more signs of this in 2026, especially if we see some more divergence here in the RSI. I mean, it's kind of like not in the bullish control zone. It's in the neutral zone right now, but maybe it expands a little higher, and then it starts to go in the opposite direction. Starts to create some bearish divergence, and especially when it's coupled with very very low BBWP reads, and it starts to expand. It gives you a potential opportunity that maybe a move in the direction that you're looking for. In this case, the down direction is brewing into the future. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep watching this one closely in the months to come, and I'll keep you guys posted if I do enter a position in the S&P 500. But essentially, I'm looking for the right time to essentially enter. And who knows, maybe it's gonna pump a lot more from here. I mean, it is at all time highs, but I'm willing to wait, because I'd rather wait for an opportunity. I want to sail essentially. I don't want to jump in when things are pretty much at all time highs. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm looking at right now. This is again not financial advice. I'm not a financial advice. Just things that I'm looking at, what I'm trying to do to give myself a little bit of an edge in the market. If you guys find this content useful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.